Welcome to another episode of what is it now? What are we calling it now? Will Hill Show podcast. Today we got a new guest. Well, he's not a Chicago native. Are you from Ohio?
Yeah, I'm actually from Ohio originally. Yeah.
Steven, if you want to introduce yourself to the people real quick.
Hey, everybody. My name's Steven. I'm originally from Ohio. I've lived in 5 U.S. states, and I settled in Chicago here about 5 years ago. A little less.
A little less? Okay, well, how'd you end up here? Okay, well, you got to give me, like, baby steps, man. What happened?
Yeah, so the short story of it is I was born in Cleveland, but I lived in, like, a lot of small towns in Ohio. Not a lot, just, like, a couple small towns in Ohio. And I moved to Tennessee when I was, like, around 19 and just went to school down there. And then I had lived in, like, some more kind of rural-y places, so I always wanted to move to a big city. At 23, at 22, I did. I moved to Orlando for like a little bit. Worked at Disney World.
That was like, all right, mom, put all my stuff in your minivan real quick. I'll bring it back. I promise.
Yeah, I did that. I did that a couple of times, like just not knowing how it was going to go. And one of them was I went and did this like internship where I worked at Disney World for 7 months. So I kind of got a little bit of like the big city thing living in Orlando. And then my entire life, I always wanted to be on TV. So at 23, I got a job as an on-air TV news guy. Okay. And I had to do that, though, in rural West Virginia. So I was like living out in the country. And I was like, nah, this is not really the life for me. This is kind of like not what I've been trying to do my entire life. So when I was out there, I kept fantasizing about living in a big city, not knowing. I was thinking like LA or New York, but I didn't know where I was going to end up. And then there just happened to be like opportunities in Chicago. One of my best friends is like, hey, I know of like a sales job. So I took it and moved to Chicago about 5 years ago. And I've been here ever since.
All right. Since you worked at Disney World, you have to tell me, is Walt Disney frozen or not?
I've actually never had someone ask me that.
Are you like, you can't tell? Is it like Illuminati? Like if you tell.
Well, it's funny though,
because come to your house and like fuck you up.
Yeah, dude, it's like a real that people take that stuff real serious. But no, I mean, I don't know. Like, I'm not saying he's not frozen, but I'm not saying that he is frozen. Like, I've never seen his frozen body, so I can't confirm. But like, people take this stuff real serious.
Yo, I kind of picture it like Austin Powers when he was frozen in the movie and they stole his mojo. Like,
dude, that's kind of how I imagine that it would be. Like, it's definitely not out of the realm of possibilities.
Most definitely. I mean, we seen Demolition Man. That was kind of around the same time. They was freezing people and putting them in prison. Well, how come Walt Disney could be frozen and wait till later?
Yeah, 1,000%. I do think that we freeze some people. Like I think we know like a handful of people, but like one of these days we are gonna like clone these people who have been frozen and they're gonna come back. It's gonna happen.
You think they're gonna be cloned? I thought they like just come back in their form.
See, I guess I don't know. In my head, I always thought that like they kept them for their DNA, so then they would clone them. But like, I don't know. I don't think it's like they just melt the ice or whatever and they just come out. But like some sort of zombie or something.
Hold on, I picture them like coming out the ice, whatever, and they need physical therapy because they got to learn how to walk again. But like,
yeah, I guess I don't really know.
Because,
maybe
like, would you need the whole body to clone someone? You just need they DNA.
Yeah, I think they just need like a couple of hairs because they tried doing that to like a woolly mammoth. And they failed, but like all they need is just a little bit.
We don't need them walking back around. Like
no, we don't. I know I'm like very worried about this kind of stuff that we're gonna start cloning some crazy like dinosaurs and there's gonna be pterodactyls flying around again or something like that.
Man, we gonna go back to cave people. How do you run from a fucking pterodactyl? Where do you go?
Think you like, I think you learn to adapt and you somehow learn to fight them. I have no idea.
Turn back to the crude, like.
Maybe, honestly.
All right, so what do you prefer? Steven, what do you go by?
Yeah, so I've always been a Steven guy. I don't really know why. Like when I was a kid, my parents, they're always like, someday when you're an adult, you'll probably be a Steve. Never been a Steve. Steve just never caught on. No one's ever, I mean, a handful of people have called me it before, but I don't really know why. I'm just not a Steve guy.
Yo, that's the same thing with like William, and then, the short Bill or Billy. I'm not like a Bill guy. Like, you call me Will, that's fine. Like, it is weird though, because like tend to be like older women, like old like moms, call me William. Like,
Oh yeah,
like
of
calling me
course.
Will is an insult to what my mother named me. So they call me William at all times. I'm like, I mean, you could shorten it a little bit. You know, Will is still the name.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like older guys, how you doing, Bill? I'm like, who you talking to?
Yeah, that's kind of weird because that's been my experience too, where certain people, like in more professional settings, I'm always Steve, and I don't really know why that's the setting that they're like, like if I were to dress up and wear like a tie or something, someone's definitely calling me Steve,
Yeah,
like no
you're
doubt, it's gonna
Steve.
happen.
You're Steve. You're in Steve mode. Like,
Yeah, that's why I actually sometimes I'll be like, oh yeah, Steve here, like I'll like intentionally pretend like Steve is like my alter ego.
dude, we have so many friends named Steven. And sometimes it get confusing on how to like differentiate them. And Curtis has brought up a good point. All our friends named Steven, we do not call him Steve. We have not called one Steven to Steve. Like, but then again, it's like, again, it's how you present yourself. Like somebody like, oh, this is my homie Steve. He go, nah, I'm Steven. And then you just Steven, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know. Names are weird because like you all some nicknames like mine's like Bill has nothing to do with William. Like who came together and said that? Like I just want to know who went Richard. No, we're gonna call you Dick.
Yeah, some or some real bad person. I don't know who did that, but
Right.
that's
I feel
unfortunate.
like one Richard like ruined it. Some dude named Richard. This is like the first viral thing. One dude named Richard was a dick, and they call him a dick, and it just like stuck. You know what I'm saying? And then like
I wonder if that's actually like what happened. Like this guy was just like a real dick, and he's like, dude, quit being a dick, and then eventually that just stuck.
for Richard, like what? Or then like John, they call him Jack. I'm like, wait,
I
that's
don't get it.
two names. Like,
But yeah, you can't just call it like that. Doesn't work. I'm glad that you're mentioning this because I've wondered this exact same thing with Richard and Dick, William and Bill. Like, why is it randomly you just can change the first letter? Like, no one's
right.
doing that to other names.
At
That's like
all.
that doesn't happen.
You don't see no Eric and they name. I don't even know what else you could put.
Well, you do see Derrick, I guess. There's Eric and
Right.
Derrick.
I don't know. I don't know because I got a coworker. His name is John, but he goes by Jack. And so he had sent the email out, and it said Jack. I say, who is this? He goes, John. Like, okay, your name is John. Why you put Jack? That's what I go by. Oh, man, whatever, yo.
Dude. Yeah, it can throw you off for sure.
What made you want to get into YouTube? Or, I mean, you've been streaming now. I see you streaming. Okay, what have you been doing first? YouTube, right?
Yeah. So basically, after I was doing the whole I guess even just to back up a tiny little bit. So I've always wanted to be on TV or do something where people like watch me. Like I love entertaining and I love just like being in front of a camera. My entire life, I've always just like tried to get in front of the camera because I just loved it so much. So I always kind of saw that in my future. So my first route of doing that was I think I can get like an on-air TV job. I don't know where I got the balls to like think that I was going to be the dude who was going to land that job in school, but I just felt like, nah, I'm going to get this. Like I'm not worried about it. I'm going to get this. And then I actually did at 23, which is like not everyone gets the on-air job, but for some reason I was able to get it and I was like, hell yeah.
See,
I pulled it off.
You went in as Steve. That's what happened.
I was pulling on that Steve energy. No, I don't know. Maybe I was just going in with the Steve energy. I never thought about it, but maybe you're right. Yeah, that was kind of it. That was it though. Like I always wanted to, like I went into the TV news, got on to be on TV and I was like, this is terrible. Like this is a horrible route to try to be on TV. Because I'm like, the news is already super shady to begin with because
Right.
you see a lot of things. I was like, I don't like this. And then
Ron Burgundy.
Kind of like yes and no. I would say yes in the fact of like whenever I see someone sit at the news anchor desk, I'm like, this is kind of like Anchorman a little bit. but no, because like when you first get a job like that, you do everything. So like I was the videographer and the guy on camera and the guy writing what to say and the guy writing what the news person's going to say and who's at the desk. I had to do absolutely every part, coordinate all the interviews. Like I'm doing absolutely every part. It's not glamorous. I'm out there in the mud.
Yeah, Well, Anchorman looks a lot more fun than all that. You
Oh
just
yeah.
showed up, read the teleprompter.
So that might be like I think if you get far enough along, like being like at the news anchor desk in Chicago, I'm sure that's a lot better than what I was doing as the general reporter in West Virginia, going
Okay, so
to
they
all
classified
kinds
you
of
as a
dumb stories.
reporter.
Say that again.
They classified you like as a reporter, not as a, I guess, an anchorman.
Yeah, I was like like the general assignment reporter. I was like the kind of guy who did any kind of story. So there wasn't like a specific type
You
of
wasn't a
story that
sports
I
guy, like.
tend to do. Yeah, I wasn't like the sports guy. I was just like, hey, there was stories that I would do where it might be like one of the most horrible stories I ever had to do was there was like three kids outside fishing in their little back pond behind their house, and a lightning strike hit, and it hit a tree, and the tree came down and crushed and killed all three of the kids.
God dang.
Horrible story. And I had to go to the spot that it occurred like an hour afterwards. And so I'm like, okay, it's a little scary. I mean, I guess I can do this story. And then I had to go to the hospital and they wanted me to interview the family.
What?
And
They
I was
just
like,
lost their kids? I guess that's reporting. I guess somebody got to do it. So what was the
yeah,
most
you do
like
some
ridiculous
crazy.
story? And you was like, why is this on the news?
Just like any kind of story.
Yeah, what was like, I guess, like I said, the most ridiculous one you didn't think was newsworthy that you had to report
Well,
on?
I did a lot of stories around pet vaccination clinics. I was like, why am I doing so many of these stories? Like, it was literally like, hey, take your pet to get vaccinated. Like, that was the whole story. I think I did this
Planned
same story
Parenthood.
several times.
Instead of Planned Parenthood, Planned Pethood, I guess.
Pretty much. Yeah, that was a pretty dumb one, but you see all kinds. I mean,
I guess that's
like,
West Virginia for you, huh? Right?
yeah, yeah, anything that you think of West Virginia, like I can confirm a lot of that stuff is pretty true. Like a lot of it's pretty true.
All right,
It's
so
true.
I'm gonna
Like
go ahead and just. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, like very nice people. Don't get me wrong. Like some of the nicest people I've ever met, but some of the stuff is you see some stuff for sure. I
All
saw
right,
some
so
stuff.
how did you take this from that to now doing YouTube videos?
Yeah. So when I was out there, I I noticed that when I get done with my workday, that I would go on my computer and watch YouTube. And I was watching these videos, and I was just thinking to myself, like, I can be as good as these people in front of the camera. Like, I already know how to do this stuff. Like, this is something I went to school for, and it's also just like something I like. So I started thinking about like what my next move should be. And I was like, what if I moved to a place where I could get a higher paying job? Like, because in the big cities, like any job that you do pays more than like in West Virginia. Like West Virginia, it just like the cost of living is like very little. So like you make like no, like it's nothing to make like $7 or $8 an hour is like you can just take a normal amount there. It's just very different, at least when I was there.
Right.
So that was different. So I was like, I'm gonna move to a big city and then I'm gonna do YouTube because I have all the creative freedom too. Because when you're a news person, you don't get to decide what stories you do. Like someone tells you what stories you're gonna do, and you can't really like you have a little creative freedom over it, but it's kind of like a strict thing where YouTube, you can do whatever you want.
Right, most definitely. And so then you went from YouTube videos to now you're streaming.
Yeah, in the process of me doing YouTube videos, I started a podcast with one of my friends called the Everything Must Go podcast about a little over 2 years ago. And with that, I started experimenting with like a bunch of different types of content. And one of them was live streaming, which I started on Instagram initially. Right. And I noticed that people really enjoyed me doing that. So as I've grown my YouTube channel, I've incorporated doing more live streaming on YouTube. And I really like it a lot.
That's what's up. They say when you do something you love, you never really work a day in your life. And that's kind of
exactly
the point where I'm at. Like I just started doing comedy a little while ago. Then I linked up with TPM, and we shoot our short films. I mean, we kind of everywhere. We do whatever we like, and that's the beauty of it. You get to do whatever you want to do. So when you're streaming, we kind of touched on this like a little bit. What do you use? Because I use like Streamlabs. I started out with OBS, but like Streamlabs just seemed to be better.
Yeah, I use Streamlabs now, especially because I very, very recently bought a capture card so I can stream video games. And to do that, I needed like you can actually live stream right from YouTube without using anything.
Right.
But it's probably better to use something else. Like I've tried OBS too, and like it's whatever, it's fine. But
Right.
I like using Streamlabs now because I have like one setting that's for gaming and one setting that's just for like my normal live shows.
Right, and it snaps. It's like right there, no problem.
Super easy.
So what the beauty with that is, so I use for my webcam, I use actually a Canon M50, right? And Canon came out with like a soft beta update for webcam, and it lets you skip the capture card. So like I didn't have to get a capture card. I was like, yes, let's go, Canon, because you know with the quarantine, the capture cards was just ridiculously priced. Did you get the famed Elgato?
Yeah. I'll be honest, like buying a capture card, first off, it's like they're not cheap. So I was just like, right. I've been kind of pushing this off because I'm not like this big gamer, but I really wanted to play Mario 3D All-Stars. And I figured if I'm going to get this game, I might as well live stream it so I can kind of feel like I'm being productive while I'm playing it.
Right, yo, I swear, that's like the exact reason I started streaming. I'm like, all right, I'm sitting playing, you know what I'm saying? I'm already trying, entertaining. And now I get to say the thoughts that's in my head when I'm playing by myself out loud, and somebody might listen. Like, like that was the whole perk to that. What was your first video you posted, and what was it about?
The first video, so technically the first YouTube video I ever posted, that was something that I made, which was it was a big hurdle for me to do this because I grew up in a scene where not like around a lot of creatives. Like I always found myself, I always thought of myself as a creative, but most of my friends, like we play a lot of sports and stuff. So I didn't really make any YouTube videos or anything like that until in 2014, I posted on Facebook, hey, ask me some questions and I'm going to answer it in a YouTube video. So that was my first video technically, is I just answered like 10 questions and just posted it in 2014. And it's terrible, the video, but I think I might have kept it.
I was just going to say, compared to your last video, how does that compare?
It's really, really nice to have that documented because I think sometimes I look at stuff now and I'm like, man, this is completely trash. And then I look back at that first video and I'm like, nah, this video is actually okay.
That's how I was with some of my videos. Like I do like skits and sketches and stuff. And like I just had some little handheld camera and my homie was like, yo, that camera is trash. It looked like security cam footage. Get you a real camera. And I'm like, I thought it was pretty good. But then like you actually upgrade and stuff looked just a lot better. Now, of course, I researched you. Of course, this is what I do. So I seen you did like a ranking video, and you had ranked your school grades that you had went to.
Oh yeah.
How did you do
that? that was a really random idea. I like watching like any type of ranking videos, and
you don't like Ranker a lot.
I know what that site is, but no, not really.
Dude, I go down a rabbit hole down that thing. Don't do it. Don't do it at all. I'll be laying in the bed, 3 a.m. I gotta see another list and see what people are saying so I can say that they're wrong, and then I'm gonna thumb up that one because I want this one to be at the top. Don't do it, bro. Just don't do it.
Yeah, maybe I won't then. But I like watching the tier list a lot, and I was like, how do people do these? So I just went online, found out it was really easy to do one, and I wanted to just do a test one. And the first thing I thought of was something I've done before. I actually think I had done that tier list before, just in my own mind of just like, I wonder if I were to rank every year, what I would actually choose. I want to say I did this once. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make this video and just see how it is doing a tier list. Because if it's not too bad, then maybe I'll do some more of these. So I experimented doing a tier list with every school year. And it was like pretty fun to make because I like doing, one of the things I like to do on my channel are like look back things. Like there's a lot of nostalgia channels that sort of like, it's sort of like an overdone thing, but I like to just put a little bit of it onto my channel. And I just kind of felt like it was a video to make.
I'm not gonna lie. I was impressed that you was able to remember kindergarten so big. Because if I did that, I'd be like, kindergarten. Yeah, that happened. Let me first grade. No more naps. Take that down. You know what I'm saying? Second grade. I went. Third grade. I think the earliest grade I could like vividly remember. I can remember some in kindergarten, but like third grade. It's like the earliest grade I can like vividly remember. Only because I got in trouble for not doing homework. And like,
That stuff sticks with you.
I had it in my book bag. I'll never forget the first progress report. My mom comes to the school to get the progress report, and teacher tell her I haven't been doing my homework, and they look at my backpack, and it's crumpled all the way down to the bottom. It's all the homework I did not do. And like, that was real eye-opening, and just terrible, a terrible moment. Maybe traumatizing. That's probably why I remember it.
Dude, exactly. That stuff sticks with you a lot. Like any of those traumatic moments, like I talk about first grade was very traumatic year. I remember every year. I remember like looking at the clock, just waiting for it to count down as my first grade days were about to end. I hated it so much. You hit your
stride, second grade.
Second grade, I did hit my stride. That was like, weirdly enough, second grade was in my S tier. It was like the top of the list, while first grade was in the bottom.
Yo, speaking of school, you know what I never understood? This is hella random, by the way. So the grades, what, A, B, C, D, F. Why not E? Why did the school hate E? That like it was like, nah, we ain't gonna do E. Ain't no in between. D is barely passing, then F is failure. I think they really wanted the F to be failure so bad they skipped E.
Dude, great mystery of our time. I wonder this. I definitely complained about that back in the day, but yeah, I think it literally just was simple as we got to have a grade that you fail, so it's gonna be an F. Like I think that it just happens to be like, I think it just happens to be 2 letters away, but I still feel like they should have just had an E, just to like make everyone feel like, come on, like you're that close.
I'm not gonna lie. Like the small order that I have in my life. Why did you skip? Like you just skip that. Why? Like it is
especially because like you're learning the ABCs back then too. Right, you're like learning the ABCs, and they're like, hey, yeah, you just learned to E. Yeah, well, you don't use that in terms of your grades. You forget that.
We need to start a protest. Like when remember they took Pluto off the list of planets and people went nuts. We need to start a protest. Put E into the grading scale. Like, there is a number order for a reason, and it needs to be included. Don't exclude E. Like
I liked it. I've never heard that take before either. Like I've never heard someone say like we need this, but we could definitely get on this. I like the idea.
Let's go. Start a GoFundMe. We're not gonna tell nobody where none of the proceeds go, but we gonna get E into the schools. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what it is, but I think it's important. If only to get everybody's minds off all other stuff that's going on, put E into the grading scale. You know what I'm saying?
I love it.
Hashtag include E. You know?
We even got a hashtag. This marketing is already great. We're
we out here doing things. We changing the world, bro. We gonna change the
one step at a time.
All right, come on now. This giant jug. You have to talk about this thing. You almost drowned. Like,
oh man, there's not too much of a story behind it, but I have a friend. He would always. Well, I mean, there's a lot of people who I've seen who have these like giant water jugs. Like back in the day, I would see someone like in high school have one of these. And I'm like, that's so dumb. You don't need a giant water jug. And then I drink a lot of water. So I had realized I just make trips to the sink all the time.
Right.
And then finally, I just gave in and bought one. I'm a hypocrite.
They have to be like, damn it, they was before their time, but I won't give them their props. It's okay.
Yeah, I'm not giving them their props. No, definitely not. But I did give in for sure.
All right. So on the theme of ranking, when you talked about second grade, you mentioned Pokemon. Now, I'm a Pokemon fanatic myself, a little bit, because once we got into these later generations, once it became over 500 Pokemon, I'm not going to lie, I kind of checked out. I was cool with 250. I can remember 250.
Yeah, that's about where I was.
Kind of threw me off. So I want to rank, let's go first 4 generations of starter Pokemon. We're gonna.
Oh, okay. I like this.
I ain't gonna go too crazy. We'll start Pokemon. So we all know the original, right? No, Pikachu is not a starter Pokemon. You hear this guy?
Well, he is in yellow. Does that count?
In yellow, a little bit. A little bit. And yellow was weird because like you only can walk around with like a few Pokemon. Anyway, all right. Starter Pokemon. Yeah. You got Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle. How would you rank them? Who was your first pick?
So back in the day, it would have been Squirtle. But if I were to choose this right now, I'd go Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle. If I were to choose it now, actually.
You put Squirtle at the bottom?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah.
I felt like Bulbasaur was always the toughest one to start off with. Because no, I take that back. Was it Squirtle? Because the first Gym Master was Brock, right? So
Yeah, so
Squirtle
he
would have
had
been
rock
fine.
type.
Bulbasaur would have been fine. Charmander was a little tough. Right, no. So Charmander was the toughest one, but everybody loved Charizard. I don't know. For me, of course, I gotta go Charmander. I love Charizard. Like, he was just a badass, like, through all of the fucking TV show.
Hmm.
I go Squirtle then Bulbasaur. I felt like Bulbasaur was very underrated. They didn't really do much on him. Because when he was with Ash, he never evolved to, what is it? Venusaur.
Yeah, yeah. Was
Ash
he?
just
I
kind of
think he
let
was
him
an
go.
Ivysaur.
So, like, he didn't really get as much exposure. So that's how I would rank them. All
Yeah,
right, what's the
I mean, I think
next?
that's fair. Like the Squirtle Ball, Charmander's definitely the best because like there also aren't that many good fire types in that game. So I just feel like he's got that extra bonus where he's definitely the best fire type.
Yeah, I mean, because the next one was like Growlithe. Yeah, Growlithe and like Arcanine. That was like the next.
Yeah,
I guess the Ponyta Rapidash.
and that was
I don't
only
know.
in red. You couldn't even get him in blue. I used to be pissed about that because I wanted to get Growlithe and I only had blue version.
Yeah, no, man. See, I got lucky because I had a little brother, and we used to always get alternate versions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And whenever he go to sleep, I would trade his Pokemon to mine and be like, I don't know what happened to yours. Like, I have
That's
no
smart.
clue what happened to yours. Like, I'm like, but let's battle. All right, what was generation 2?
Totodile, Chikorita, Cyndaquil.
Cyndaquil. I don't know. This is when they kind of threw me off because Cyndaquil looked cool, but they made it look like a wuss, right?
Yeah.
So, Chikorita evolved to Bayleaf, right?
Yeah, I actually think that these might be the worst starters in all the starters. They're not very good. Like I don't even know.
Okay, so I'll go first. All right, if I had to rank them, I'll go Totodile because I like the whole alligator thing that they did with them. I don't know. I'll put Chikorita at the bottom.
Yeah, that's fair. I would. I think I'm the same order on that one.
And
Like
Cyndaquil second. Okay, like I don't know. They didn't make them fierce at all. Like
no, they suck. It's like like none of pretty much all three of those guys are a noticeable step back from the previous gen. Like they're not as cool or as good.
all right. Do you know the third generation ones?
Uh,
This-
Torchic.
It was the little chicken looking one, right?
Yeah, that's Torchic. I remember that one.
Right, because that one was badass. It was like a damn near kung fu fighter. Like,
Yeah, he kind of looks like a Digimon too, and I was a big fan of Digimon.
oh yeah, I like Digimon too. Even though like I like the memes for Digimon, how they showed them like evolve, and then all of a sudden they got guns. Like,
Oh yeah.
hold on, I got Curtis. He's looking up third generation starter Pokemon.
Yeah, it's Torchic and
What's the name? He's not a Pokemon fan, is it?
Trico, and I think that's the third one. And then who's the water guy? Oh, Mudkip,
Mudkip?
Trico, Torchic.
Now it's bringing back real fond memories. I'll let you go first.
I think so. The Mudkip evolutions are kind of boring, so I think I might pick Torchic, then Trico, then Mudkip.
Oh no. Okay. I go Torchic, Mudkip. I don't know. Torchic was just the best out of the bunch. The Blaziken, like,
Yeah, Blaziken's awesome.
it was amazing. So that's as far as I go. I don't know fourth, fifth. I don't know none of them. I'm not even going to sit here and try to act like I do. Oh, you got the knowledge?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember. I'm surprised I got the third gen. Fourth gen. I bet if I sat long enough, I might be able to figure it out.
It's like-
I know one of them's Piplup. Piplup's the water one because that's the penguin Pokemon.
Penguin?
Yeah.
Okay, and it evolved to like an emperor penguin, basically.
I don't remember the other two though. Damn, I'm impressed with myself for remembering this.
No, I'm most definitely impressed. Turtwig,
Ah,
Chimchar, and then Piplup.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't have remembered that.
Yeah,
Maybe.
no. Even though Chimchar was, now I'm looking at it, looking at the final evolve for it, Infernape,
Yeah.
pretty decent.
Yeah, he's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like those games too. That was actually where I stopped. I did play Diamond and Pearl. I never beat the Elite Four, but I did play that game.
No, I got Black and White.
Ah, okay.
That's why
I never got that far.
And like, bro, Black and White was so long because like now you had like the different league because I think the second generation when they went to a different region, right? Mm-hmm. That's when they got to see all. Then like by the time I got to Black and White, bro, it was 3 different regions. You had to beat all the gym masters in all 3 of those regions. And then you had the Aloha forms and no, I think that's Sword and Shield, Aloha forms, and I'm like, bruh, like. All right, let's go straight to first generation legendaries.
Ooh, first generation. So are we just doing the legendary birds or any legendary? Right. Just the birds? Articuno.
What else was it? Mew and Mewtwo? Is that what you include in legendary?
Yeah, I mean, like I guess in the first, well, there's all, no, you're right. I guess in terms of what's considered legendary, it's just the birds. I'd go Articuno, Zapdos, Moltres in that order.
Nah, I go Zapdos because I felt like Zapdos was a badass. Articuno then Moltres. I mean, just only because is like Articuno like it's like every time you use Ice Beam, it froze Pokemon. Like
yeah, that's like I love moves.
That. Like
I love ice moves like Ice Beam and Blizzard. Those are my go-to. I'd use those moves all day.
Yeah, Blizzard had only like 5 moves, so you used to PP up on it to get 6 because it only went up 1.
Oh yeah, and they were great against dragon types. Like the dragon types are super powerful in that game, but I'm pretty sure the ice moves were super effective.
Right. Against Dragonite, you had to have your Lapras.
Oh yeah.
Do Ice Beam on him or Blizzard or whatever.
All day.
All right. First generation, who's your favorite Pokemon?
Dragonite.
Dragonite? What?
He's my favorite Pokemon, yeah.
So bougie to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's the hardest Pokemon to level up. I think that's why there's just so much reward. It's like you didn't get Dratini until late in the game, and then when you get him, there's just all that grinding away to just get this mediocre Pokemon to become a Dragonair. And Dragonaire's like, looks cool, but not that good.
It's
and then you finally just raise it up. You keep like 3 rare candies, so when you get to 52, you're like, hell yeah.
I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on this. I don't know.
Yeah.
I would say either Hunter or Gengar.
Ooh, yeah.
Depending on, how you got them. Or Machamp and Macho. Those were my top tier. I had them in every squad. I don't care who you playing with. I got them in there. Like, yeah, you probably gonna kill him in 1 hit. That's fine. But he was there. Like, that's what mattered to me. Like, you ever get anyone up to 99?
I got Typhlosion to level 100 in gold or silver. I actually did it. It was the only guy I raised. And honestly, I kind of feel like in gold and silver, it's actually easier to do that. Like just having one unstoppable Pokemon, like
it just wreck through that game. Like
it's not fun though. Like I don't like doing that as much, but I did do it once just to say I did it.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever. I think the highest I ever got was like to 92.
It's probably for the best.
And then like my little brother cheated and he got a Game Shark.
And yeah. Yeah.
And so he had this Game Shark and like he had borrowed it from one of his friends at school and I didn't even know what it was. I didn't know what a Game Shark was. So he got it and he had every Pokemon. I'm like, wait, what? Like, how you get it on that one when we know it's not in there? Don't worry about it. And I look, he had every Pokemon at 100. I'm like, what are you doing? And he told me about it. So then I took it and did the same. So
classic. Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you. I had a Game Shark back in the day.
Oh man, Game Sharks, throwbacks. You have a Game Boy growing up? Yeah. Did you get your Game Shark? No. All right, so yeah, I think that's it. That's because everything after that really got confusing. Because then, what was the 2 other legendary birds, Ho-Oh and
Ho-Oh and Lugia.
Lugia. Those were
Yeah.
supposed to be like the creators of the Pokemon world. But then like generations after that, now you got like this deer. Oh, then you had like the legendary dogs. What are they dogs? The big cats. Like
Yep. Yep. Those guys were the worst because they'd always just run away,
right. Every time. It was
pissing me
worse than
off.
trying to catch a Abra. Like
Yeah, it was like that. Only like worse because it was even harder to find one of those guys.
exactly. I don't know. Pokemon got crazy when like all these other Pokemon were now like god level Pokemon. Everybody created the world. I'm like, wait a minute. I was here at the beginning and it was two birds. Like
I know. There's so many now.
yeah, no, I'm way past that. I don't even know how people keep up with them now. Like,
I don't know. Like I kind of wonder that.
I still kind of randomly seen the Pokemon song though. That was at the end of like every episode, and they were naming them all.
Is it the rap? Is it the
Yeah,
like
the Pokemon
Chameleon, War Turtle, Mewtwo, Tentacle, Aerodactyl, like that thing?
Hey, look up who made that.
I looked that up recently actually because I was like, I kind of remember like the Poke Rap, but I can't remember like every single one of these things.
You know what? Now I want to do a music video to the Pokemon rap. Like, I want to get some lights, the fog machines, the sunglasses, make it real cool. Get my little Nerf guns, make it gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Okay, yeah, no, I like it. I like it.
yo, I wonder like if they had to like really sit down with 150 Pokemon and like figure out how to make all this rhyme.
How to make it kind of sound good.
Like being a creator, now I'm thinking of the process, right? Like, what went into that? Are you just looking at this list and like, okay, these rhyme, okay, these don't rhyme. Looking
like
at the
it's not even
Japanese
that good
dude,
at
bro,
rhyming.
you like, how do you say this? Like,
I honestly kind of feel like I mean, like it rhymes a little bit, like it's not the worst, but I feel like it's not the best. I think maybe they just wrote it all down and just kind of said them out loud and said, "Oh, well, that kind of sounds."
there we
I can't
go.
remember.
Get the line. Let's draw.
Oh,
the line
okay,
up.
we'll leave that. I kind of I can't remember like Magmar rhymes with like like, Magmar. I can't remember actually.
I'm not even going to attempt it. I have
Charizard, Magmar, maybe I can't remember.
I know the whole opening song. Like, I could do that
Oh yeah. That song's great.
in a heartbeat. All right, fuck it. We just go move on.
Possibly Jason Page. I'm not sure yet.
Okay, he say
That's the name that comes up so far.
he's looking up who made it. I want to know who came up with it. And he
We
said
gotta know who
possibly-
this person
possibly
is.
Jason Page. He'll get back to me when we get the answer. So Mario 3D, that's your go-to game at the moment. You moving on?
Yeah,
from that? What's up?
Mario 3D All Stars.
Yo, when I first tried to play Mario, I was real little and did not really understand what was going on, and I just never progressed past that. There was like that, and I tried to play Legend of Zelda on like Super Nintendo and had no clue what was going on. Like, so like I've never played it, and people are like, oh, you should try it again. I'm like, no, like it was traumatizing for me. I had no clue what was going on. I tried it.
You definitely missed out. Like the first video game I ever got was Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. I opened it up on like Christmas Day, and I just remember like putting that game in and just be like, oh my God, Mario's in 3D. This is incredible. And I couldn't figure out how to get into the castle. I was like running all over the place, just a little kid trying to like control this little N64, which had like the worst joystick ever, and my little hands trying to figure it out.
I don't know. The first game I had on my N64, it came with that Star Wars racing game.
Oh yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah, that's what I played. I played a lot of wrestling games. What was it? WCW versus NWO.
Oh yeah. I had one of those games. I forget which one.
Dude, I think now that I'm thinking about it, I think this was my first instinct of trying to be a streamer. We had a VCR connected to the TV where we played, and me and my cousin, we did an all-nighter, and we recorded over like one of my grandma's like TV shows. She was pissed, but we got the VHS.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah.
Man, some wrestling game, I forgot. Oh man, dude, the last Mario game I think I played was the one when he had the water jetpack strapped to his back.
Sunshine?
Yeah, I think that was the last one I attempted.
That's on the 3D All Stars. That's like the middle game, and so it comes with Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, and Mario Galaxy. So you can actually play that game on the Switch.
Okay, I think I got the Switch. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try it out now.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I'm just playing Mario 64 right now, but like I'm having a lot of fun just going back and it's like I'm really bad at video games because I'm not a big gamer, but it's one of the few games I'm decent at. I'm decent, not great. I'm decent at.
So you gonna be like a perfectionist and try to get all the stars?
Yeah, I'm trying. I got 87 out of 120, so I'm like I made some pretty good progress.
Okay, okay. Have you seen people do like speed runs?
Yeah, actually,
That is intense.
it is intense, and even I like kind of like watching the Mario 64 speed runs. Kind of got me inspired to be like, eh. I mean, I'm never gonna be able to compete, but it's kind of cool just to try some of these little tactics that they do.
The only game I think I could speed run is San Andreas.
Oh, really?
I used to play that game backwards and forwards. I remember like my first like personal achievement of playing that game is like not using cheat codes. Like I'm gonna play this game and I'm not gonna use a cheat code through the whole entire game. Cause man, I don't know about you, but I can do those cheat codes like in my sleep. Boy, just if I grab a PlayStation 2 controller right now, I bet I can figure it out and get it together.
Those are the best kind of games. I think you can just pick up and just remember exactly how to do it.
Look, he got it.
Classic.
What was that? The infinite ammo? Right.
Classic.
Right. So you plan on moving on from Super Mario? What you go stream next?
I don't know. I mean, now that I've invested in this capture card, which like, but trying to figure out which capture card to get was already a nightmare in itself because I don't know this stuff very well. So I just was like, I don't know if I want to stream it in 4K. I don't know if this is compatible. I don't know what I'm doing. Just like I just needed to put the game on my YouTube. Like that's all I need. I need to be in a little box in the corner,
Right.
and I need them to be able to see this game I'm playing. So I'll probably play 64. I'll play it through, and then I might move on to Galaxy. But I don't think I'm going to be streaming like too many games. I think I'll probably go mostly back to like my normal format of just kind of sitting at the mic, answering some questions that come in and just like talking to people and do my normal topics.
So what do you focus on the most? As far as like, content wise, what do you think is going to be your viral hit?
Man, that I wish I knew the answer to that. I'm always trying to figure that out. One thing I do enjoy, I've been doing this series called My Life in Chicago Vlogs, where I just go around in the city with my friends and I just record like what I'm doing. The goal of it was to do one every week. So basically I'd record a little bit of what I did that week. So you'd see like behind the scenes in my life, and then every Saturday it would come out. Right. And I did do that at the end of last year, but now because how weird this year's been, I kind of do those more random, and then I sort of just do these other ones where I just walk around the city a little bit. So that series is like one thing I think is solid, but then I also like my at the mic videos, and I like my live streams, and I like the podcast. So like I think I'm kind of just feeling all these out right now, and I'm not sure which one will stick the most, but I love them all.
Like you said in one of your videos, man, you can't close any doors. Do everything.
Exactly.
So, now that you're here, 5 years in, what is Chicago? I feel like is known best for its food. Would you say so?
On the positive side.
Only on the. You talk about only on the positive side. Okay, other than the crazy amount of murders we have a year, Chicago is known mainly.
Oh no.
mainly for its food. 5 years in, what would you say is your favorite Chicago food, I guess?
Chicago deep dish pizza. As much as I hate myself for
That's
it.
an important question. From where?
My favorite is see, this is the worst part about this. I'm like not a foodie at all, but I love pizza. Absolutely love it. I'm Italian American, so like I also just have like that. I've always gone to Italian restaurants. I've like been around pizza my whole life. I'm from the middle of between New York and Chicago, so like Cleveland, you kind of get a little bit of both the styles of pizza. Really? It's kind of like its own thing. You get a lot of Italian influence.
Everything in Cleveland. That's
my favorite of the deep dish pizzas is Lou Malnati's. That's the short answer of it.
Okay,
I love it, but I know a lot of people complain like, oh, if you're not from Chicago, of course you're gonna like deep dish. Like it's like a tourist thing to say that you love deep dish. So I hate that I've now become a part of the stereotype of someone who's not native here who just like, yeah, I love the deep dish pizza from Lou's.
Wait, would you say that? What you think saying your favorite food is deep dish pizza is what? Because I love deep dish pizza.
It's so good.
Giordano's like a few weeks. I went to Giordano's and stopped at Krispy Kreme. Fuck you, me. Like, overrated.
And I've been living here, born here.
I mean, me too, but I don't think it's overrated. I think anybody comes to Chicago, you have to try deep dish pizza.
You can try it. I think it's just overrated.
All right, let's go down the list here. What's next? Because I'm a professional fat boy. So
yeah. Probably that's kind of tough. It's either Uno's or Pequod's is next for me.
Okay, what's the second one? I don't know the second one.
Have you been to Uno's before?
I've been to Uno's.
Yeah, I'd say Uno's or Pequod, which is Pequod is like, I think there's one in Lincoln Park is maybe where I ended up going to it. I've been there only one time and I was like, this is really good.
Is that another pizza place?
Yeah, it's solid. It's another deep dish spot.
Oh, I'll have to check it out.
Uh-huh.
So besides pizza, what's next? You have somebody who's never been here, tell them try the deep dish and try what else?
Oh, this is actually an easy one for me. Even though this is sort of a cop-out because it's hard for me to be specific, the Mexican food is incredible in the city of Chicago. Like, there's so few of like Mexican restaurants where I grew up. So when I came here and I was like, okay, it's like a little small street place. It's like a Mexican place. Go in there and I'm like, yeah, I'll take a burrito. Go in, you eat this thing and it's like, no, Chipotle is irrelevant now.
Right.
Like I used to think that Chipotle was good.
First off, you're in a real Mexican spot. One, if they have a kid working in there because they don't know how to speak English. Two, if they don't take cash. I mean, if they only take cash. If they only take cash, you're in a good Mexican restaurant. What else would you say is a sign of a good Mexican restaurant? If they have to pull out a secondary menu that's in English, you're in a good Mexican restaurant.
Yeah, you're probably right.
You go burrito, they say okay.
Yeah, they're so good though. Like I just get so pumped. Like whenever I go back to Ohio for even just like a week or a few days, I miss Mexican places. Cause like I'll go to a couple Mexican places there and I'm like, these are not the same. Not the same. Definitely not.
Oh no, I've always heard like California has like the best Mexican restaurants.
Yeah, I've been to California a handful of times and I don't remember. I know I did stop at a Mexican place one of the last times I was in California, and it was really good. But I would like to go back and like experiment with that a little bit more.
I don't know. You know what? I think Italian beef is overrated, like Chicago food. What? Have you had Italian beef? I know you have, right?
No, I'm
Portillo's, right? No.
No, because I've been vegetarian almost my whole life.
Dang.
So I really, I feel like that kind of makes me miss out on a lot of the types of food that Chicago is known for. So that's why partially I'm like, when people ask me for my favorite restaurants in the city, and I'm like, you're probably not going to like them because they're going to be like pizza or they're going to be Mexican and there's not going to be any meat. So you're probably going to be disappointed in my answer.
All right. So what made you go vegetarian?
No, I don't really know. I guess when I was a little kid, I don't really remember, but I guess I didn't like meat when I was really little. It didn't agree with my stomach or something. I don't
think
really.
That's what it's got to be. I don't think no one makes a conscious decision to like. It's got to be like.
Yeah,
look,
I've always had a bad stomach,
yeah,
so I
look,
don't know.
look, it's all right, but I don't like being in the bathroom for 2 hours afterwards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I got things to do. I want to be successful in life, not stuck in the bathroom. Do you get like a lot of shit for being a vegetarian?
Oh yeah, definitely, like for sure. Like it's actually whenever I date somebody, I'm like, okay, all right, can't wait to have this conversation because like some people are like totally cool with it, but it's like that they're like a real true foodie and they learn that it like goes one of two ways. They're either like excited, like, ooh, I can't wait to like make some vegetarian food, or like I can't wait to go to some of these types of restaurants, or they're like, oh, that's cool. Next.
All right. Well, being a vegetarian, what do you think of vegans?
Of what?
Vegans.
Oh, vegans. Oh, I think it's too much work. Like I don't the idea of having to be so conscious about everything that I do. Like I love working out. I love like trying to eat healthy, but I'm not going to sit there and count every calorie or try to figure out if I can or cannot eat this. Like it's a lot of work. Like being a vegetarian, it's simple. If it's meat, you don't eat it. If it's like
Right.
anything else, you can. And it's not that complicated.
I feel like vegans get a real bad rap because they always trying to convert everybody to being a vegan.
Yeah.
And it's like, bruh, just be a vegan. Like,
Exactly.
like, that's
I'm like the
fine.
opposite. I'm like, don't live this life as a vegetarian. It's don't put yourself through this because people are always gonna be like whenever I go out to eat, like there's been times where I've gone to like ex-girlfriends like family dinners or gatherings,
Yeah.
and they have to make specifically a dish for me. And everyone like looks at me like just to make sure that I like what was made. And I'm like, oh man, I can't do this. This is terrible.
Dude, I can totally relate. So like I'm not a big onion person. I don't really like onions. It's just me, right? And so my ex, her mom was like, everybody loved her potato salad, right? But it had like huge chunks of onions in it. So like I never liked it. But I didn't never tell them that, right? I only told my girlfriend that, right? So like they would put big ass scoops of fucking potato salad on my plate and I just kind of pick around it. Cause I don't wanna be rude. You can't be rude. Like she's
Yeah.
half Italian, so you can't be rude and not eat the food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just kind of pick around it and go, fuck onions, like, and not eat it. So my ex at the time told her, and so she would make me my own potato salad with no onions. And so like I would come over and they go, Will, here's your potato salad. I'm like, I mean, your potato salad is just not like it's not my grandma. So like,
Oh,
it was
dude,
not the
that
onions,
makes
it
me
was just
cringe.
not what I'm used to. Like,
Yeah, it's like the worst. I honestly hate being singled out at the dinner table. It's just like such an uncomfortable feeling. I'm just like, it's fine, all right. Just I won't eat anything today. Don't worry about me.
what would you say is like a hidden gem in Chicago? Like someplace not too many people know about, but they should.
Hin- uh, I like going to the lake shore, going north of like Wrigley Field at the lake shore, like kind of like the Montrose Beach area.
Right.
I think that area is like a huge hidden gem because it's like less crowded, but there's tons of green space.
Right. That's
And
because it's so close to Wrigley. That's why.
yeah, yeah, that's like just a really, I think I mean, it's hidden, I guess, in the sense of like if you just keep going like up north, like further north,
Right.
like there's less people there, but it's beautiful. Like there's just tons of green area, and it's just like a really nice underutilized beach area that's way better in my opinion than going closer to downtown beaches.
I say Montrose Beach is nice. Yeah. You been there? Not recently. Yeah. Once. We from the south side, way south. So like
Yeah.
that's way north for us.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been there a few times.
Yeah, I think I mean, it's kind of like a big area to pick as like a hidden gem, but I just really think that's like a charmingly nice spot and no one really talks about it.
All right. Since you're well traveled, what would you say Chicago is missing?
Ooh. Oh, so in comparison to okay, just as an example, I think that like a place like San Francisco, it's a really big city.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like San Francisco at all. I'll be the first one to say it. I'll put that out. I love Chicago. Not a big San Fran fan, but I love how as soon as you leave the city of San Fran, you can like go right to the mountains and you were away from everybody. Like you were just completely away, isolated. No one's there. You really can't do that very easily here. Like you could drive like out in the suburbs a little bit.
Right.
But keep in mind, like I don't have a car. I very rarely ever go out to the Chicago suburbs, but like there's not like it's very flat. It's kind of like bland in comparison. Like even where I grew up, like right outside of Cleveland, there's like tons of like parkland and hills, and it's just easy to get away from things and be like in an easier nature spot.
Right.
Chicago, it's like a bit of a trek to get out there.
Yeah. No. There's no easy escapes. I think everybody go to the Dales. That's
Yeah, that's what I always hear.
you want to get away, you go to Wisconsin, go to the Dales.
Yep. That's what I've been hearing that.
Or like people go to like the Indiana Dunes. There's nothing here like as a getaway. No. Nah, you if you want to be in the city, you will be in the city. And then like even directly outside the city, all the suburbs try to mimic the city. So like everything is very close in proximity. I don't know. Anything special you wanted to bring up?
I guess. I mean, not in particular. I mean, if I guess I have a question since you guys are in the south side. I'm on the north side here. What is like, what are your thoughts on like the differences in like the north and the south side? And like, is there like, do you all have like thought where like you have stereotypes of the north side or have like general thoughts of the whole thing? Because I'm like the unbiased person, but like I moved here and I moved to the north side, so like I hear a lot of things that people talk about. I know like a lot of the negatives that people will bash on either side. I hear people who are from the city who bash on people from the suburbs who say they're from Chicago. I just like to hear you guys weigh in a little bit.
That is a guarantee. Don't you ever tell somebody you from the city and your zip code is not 606. You're not from the city. If your zip code is not 606, I grew up in 60628. I think you 282, no?
36.
He's 30. Like, so that's a big no-no. Because you have people who live like what like where? In Naperville. And say they're from Chicago. No, you're not from Chicago. You're from Naperville. Like, Country Club Hill, like no. Okay, so I guess all right. This is conscious will here about the city here. So Chicago is the most segregated city in all of the 50 states. As far as major cities go, I'm pretty sure there's some small towns where black people have not even touched foot. But Chicago is the largest major city when it comes to segregation. Like seriously.
I've heard that before.
No, like it is very apparent. So living on the south side, I mean, for lack of a better word, the north side is for white people. It's white. You get a few black people who do move up there and they experience Humble Park. I mean, but Humble Park is Hispanics, right? I mean, so he just mentioned Humble Park. That's another neighborhood, but we know that's where the Hispanic people live at. That's the segregation already right there. You know what I'm saying? Even Chinatown, the stop says Chinatown. like there's obvious places, and you can tell where you at. I always tell people, look at the billboards. The billboard will tell you exactly where you at. Like, because if you're in a Hispanic neighborhood, the billboard is in Spanish. You in a Jewish neighborhood, it's, I don't know, Hebrew. You can tell where you at by looking at the billboard, what's being advertised for that area. It can immediately tell you where you at and if you should be there. But no, I feel like you talk to anybody who grew up in the city, they would tell you the north side is where the white people stay, south side is where black people stay. The Hispanics are kind of in the middle, just kind of in the middle.
Outside of Mount Greenwood.
I mean, Mount Greenwood. So there's little areas in the south side where, again, I don't want this to be all serious, but black people can't go there. And there's an area called Mount Greenwood. It's south, dead smack in the south. Actually, I live close to Mount Greenwood, but they're not very friendly to black people living there. There's a lot of cops and firefighters that live in Mount Greenwood, and they take real pride in their neighborhood and will run you out. I've heard that they ran other black cops out of the neighborhood. They don't want, like seriously, they do not want any black people in Mount Greenwood, and they are going to keep it that way through hell or high water. So yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm pretty sure you heard that. Anybody that's from Chicago would tell you, south side is where black people stay, north side is where white people stay. In the middle, you have the Hispanics, and don't go out west.
And don't go out west. Yeah, no,
don't go out west. I'm from the south side. I don't go out west. You have to be from out west to be out west.
Yeah.
And it's crazy though, because like each part of the city has its great things to be a part of. You know what I'm saying? South side got some great, beautiful spots. We got the Sabo Museum. It's a lot of stuff out south, but then up north, obviously that's where they kind of focus more of their money. So there's a lot nicer attractions. You got like the Lincoln Park area. You can look at the two baseball stadiums, just the neighborhood is two totally different things. When you come out south to Sox Field, what is it, guaranteed rate now?
Yeah.
It's literally a neighborhood. There's like not when you go to Wrigleyville, You have Wrigleyville. The whole neighborhood is immersed in that stadium. You know what I'm saying? You got all the bars, all that stuff, like John Barleycorn. Wrigleyville is an area. You can go to Wrigleyville without going to a baseball game. You won't find many people at Guaranteed Rate Field for no reason because people live there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So there's very stark differences in between the two. I love my city. I wish that wasn't the case, but it is. It's a fact. Do I see it changing? Hell no. It's done on purpose. You just have to be aware of your situations and where you at. I ain't trying to, like I said, I ain't trying to be Mr. Woke here, but no, it's technically done. Have you noticed that? In your 5 years, have you noticed that, like, yourself?
Yeah, well, that's probably the reason why I asked this. Is it's just like as somebody who just like moved here, about 5 years ago, I just picked to like move to the north side because I had a friend who already lived there. So I just was like, hey, I'm gonna live like right where you live. Like I lived like a 10-minute walk from him, and I didn't really know any of that, like this stuff moving in. Like I didn't really know like anything that the neighborhood was known for. I didn't know like the good and bad parts of the town. Like I really came in completely naive, and
you have to be from here to know. Like come from outside,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah, so I definitely like I've learned about just like a lot of different things. People are like, oh yeah, north side, this is north side's better, south side's like, I don't know, south side's not as good as the north side. Then people in the south side, because like I make a lot of videos where I talk about Chicago,
right.
So I get a lot of people who weigh in, and I just have like a lot of different types of things to say. And I always say, I'm like, look, I'm not from here originally, and my perspective is just like me.
What you've seen, right?
Yeah, it's just what I see as just like a guy who's lived on the north side, who like rarely goes to the south side because it's like it's a trek, and like everything
100%.
that I like normally do tends to be on the north side or into the loop. So it's like I don't need to go that far down very often, but like I want to know more.
Being from the south side, there's not much I look to do that's actually north. I might have to go to the loop like downtown.
Yeah.
North of downtown, there's nothing up there. The only thing I've been up there because I had some friends go to Loyola.
Mm-hmm.
Emporium, like this. They got like more.
Is that north?
Yeah.
Oh, like the Emporium, like the arcade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I consider that down. Well, I guess technically it's north.
Yeah, that's north side.
Yeah, it's north. Yeah, because the only arcade we got out here that's like Emporium is like Galloping Ghost, but it's not Emporium.
That's suburb.
Yeah, no, but it's south.
Yeah.
I mean, we going just north to south or region wise, it's south. No, it's fuck. You're right. It's a suburb. It's not even in the city. Fuck. Yeah, no. It's purposely built that way. You know, what is it? Redlining is a real thing, and if people don't know the truth, all they gotta do is look at the city. Look at Chicago. Chicago will show you that redlining is very well alive. I don't think it's going nowhere no time soon. But it would be nice, to be able to uninhibitedly go to the north side. I just feel like going to the north side, quite honestly, I would be harassed by the police. That's kind of a given coming from the south side, no? If not the police, some of the people.
I haven't had too many bad experiences.
I've had one.
Yeah, I've had like one or two.
Yeah. No.
I used to always be there.
For what? What was you up north for?
Remember, I was running the music website, so it took me a lot of times. It took me north.
Oh, okay. I've never really went north.
Yeah, I just love learning these types of things because like I do feel like as somebody who's moved to the city, I just like to understand as many different perspectives from the different people who like actually live here because I feel like it helps me understand the city more. It's like when I'm talking about it, right. I feel like, okay, I know it a little bit better because like I only know what I can see, but having conversations with different people who have like grown up here or in different parts of the city, it's like, it's good to just get all the different perspectives on it.
Yeah, no. And I think, you having a very unbiased view of the city gives a very fresh perspectives.
Yeah.
I mean, because we kind of, we grew up in what was considered the hood. We didn't grow up in the nicer neighborhoods on the south side. We grew up in the places where all those murders happened.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. I know for a fact I have a biased view of the city. That's I could.
Yeah, and I mean, that's the thing is everyone's gonna have a bias. I mean, like I got a bias coming in to a certain extent too because of just like my time in Ohio or living in Tennessee. Who knows? Like that's why like, it's cool hearing all these different types of perspectives. I really enjoy it a lot.
All right, man. So we about an hour in. We, you know what? I tend to like try to keep it about an hour, but we most definitely have to talk back with you. We gonna talk more about the city and what can we do to make this city better than what it is. Curtis, you got any closing remarks? If you want to shout out all your handles so everybody know where they can find you and follow you.
Yeah. So my pretty much everything is Stephen Russell B, and that's Stephen with the V, not a PH. PH is trash. No one should ever spell their name with the PH. Russell has 2 S's and 2 L's, and a lot of times people only do like 1 L or 1 S. It's 2 S's and 2 L's, and then B like boss or getting like a B plus in school. Though I like to think that I'm better than a B plus. Let me think. That's my Instagram, Stephen Russell B. Twitter, Stephen Russell B. My YouTube channel is Stephen Space Russell Space B. I also have a podcast that I do with my friend Brandon. That's called Everything Must Go Podcast. If you typed it in on any podcast app, you should be able to find it. We also have a YouTube channel where we do the video versions of the show. And any of these things that you keep in touch with me, you're going to see a lot of content. So be prepared to see a lot of Stephen. And if you like it, then hopefully
if you like it, hit the like button, hit that thumbs up, y'all. God dang. And then you have to subscribe because then that's the only way you know when we post things. That's why we do these things. We do it for y'all. But make sure y'all follow us, Third Post Media, across all platforms, no spaces. Post as in your heartbeat because a lot of people put plus, right? We putting plus, Third Plus Media. I'm like, man, post. Like,
P-O-S-T, post.
Oh, post. Yeah, like post, P-O-S-T. I'm like,
yeah.
Post,
no.
Post, like your heartbeat. Third Post Media. That's on all platforms. You can follow me, Simply Just Will, on all platforms. Make sure y'all following our Twitch now because that's where I'm going to be doing most of my streaming. Right now, I'm just playing Apex. But in the future, what I plan on doing is because I play on Xbox, doing all the Xbox Game Pass games. And see how that go. You know, give me a game of the week and just go right through it. Anything else you want to add real quick, Steven?
I just want to say like a big thank you for having me on. I mean, I've been watching you Will a little bit on just like watching some video clips here and there, and I've been like I try to follow any like Chicago YouTubers or Chicago scene, anyone that I can really, and it was pretty cool that you all reached out to me because like I didn't expect that to happen.
I appreciate you taking out the time. You most definitely will be back. I think that's it. We can call this a wrap. Yeah?
Yeah.
All right, we're done. Just